Let's talk some more about COVID-19. Professor Titus Ibekwe, he's an ENT specialist. He joins us from our Abuja studios. Glad you could join us on the program. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Melissa.
All right. My previous guest today said that real-time data was perhaps a problem. Would you say that that is also hampering the fight with regards to the numbers we're recording and the true response to the pandemic in Nigeria?
Yes. There's a dictum that is when you seek that you find. If we take a look at our testing rate, I don't think it has taken us to desired level. And it will also be very difficult to make a very concrete scientific conclusion based on that. Truly, if we look at the cases as being spread on the surface, then it appears as if we have reached the peak and there's a decline. But if you look very deeply scientifically into the number of cases being tested over the period of time, and comparatively, you also look at the analysis of the monthly analysis data that is released by NCDC. We recall that in August, it was released that there's 36% decline in the testing rate and about 25% decline in the rate of positivity. So if you juxtapose this and put it together, you realize that it doesn't really truly reflect that we are having a decline in the number of cases, or that truly that we have a decline in curve. But what is there is that we should be encouraged to step up our testing capacity, and most importantly is the non-pharmaceutical precautionary measures to ensure that we don't over-relax, as is being seen presently, that everybody is still up to the game. And when we adapt these precautionary measures, that's what will help us, to see this disease to an end. Otherwise, the way we are going, it may not just be the true reflection of what the data is. And it's a new normal, so we must learn how to live with it. Life must continue. As rightly said, the lockdown must not be in perpetuity. But what is very important is to ensure that we deepen these precautionary measures. We deepen the guidelines that has been outlined by NCDC in our various institutions and facets of life, including schools. Once all these are observed and we intensify truly our enlightenment program, because it appears most of the citizenry are relaxing on their guard now, so that we'll be able to bid farewell to this disease. Because usually, as we know, the second wave is normally more deadly than even the first wave.
Do you fear that we might be facing that, Professor Ibekwe? Yes. With what is happening in some of these places you've mentioned, do you fear that we might come to that point where a second wave is inevitable?
Well, it is not our wish, but a very intelligent person learn from other people's mistake. You don't allow yourself to go through the same pathway, So it is a call that we should do everything possible now that it appears as if we are getting off this disease, that this is the time to step up our games. It's not really the time to relax, so that we don't get to that stage of having, a second wave. If you take a look, you see that these countries now are using everything within their disposal to fight, including technology. Some are using apps in United Kingdom, even natural mechanism. In Finland, they are using sniffer dogs, well-trained to detect people who are positive for coronavirus disease. But here we can say that we have certain inherent factors that appear to be protecting us, which is not really very clear to the scientific world, because most of the cases we have, truly and sincerely speaking, are mild and moderate cases rather than very severe cases. Look into the crystal ball, you ask yourself, does that have to do with the spread of our population? Because here mainly we have young population. At least 60% of Nigerian population are below 60, and compared to the developed countries where reverse is the case. You also ask yourself, does it have to do with cross-immunity of a sort? Does it have to do with the BCG vaccination that is part of our routine immunization, which has been proven to have some level of protection, which we know that is still routine within the country? Or does it have to do with, our ways of going about things? Because Nigerians have passed through certain very difficult diseases in the past, including Ebola and co. So is there cross-immunity of a sort? Nobody is very sure of any of these factors, but all that we know is that the disease is still real, and that one active disease is as bad as having many. And we should fight as we fought against wild polio and ensure that there is 0 case of coronavirus disease in Nigeria. It is then and only then that we can beat our chest and say that we have defeated the illness. But as it is, with the pictures that we are seeing, it is not yet Uhuru.
Over. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time on the program. Professor Titus Ibekwe, ENT specialist. Thank you for joining us.